Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. Here's your host, Morgan Colby and Rick Lemon.
Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. It is Thursday, March 12th. My name is Morgan Colby. I got Rick Lemon right across from me as always.
What's going on?
I feel like I just broke something right now. We got a lot to get to in this episode. We're going to discuss free agency, give you a little preview of free agency, a little tiny preview, a little tidbit. Free agency, like the tampering period starts like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or maybe yesterday with Tom Brady announcing whatever he's doing. We don't know yet.
Pre-recorded.
But we're going to make some predictions on where guys might go, where guys might land. We'll give you a little preview of the market for them, possibly. And then, obviously go through every free agent. No, just kidding. We're only going to go through like 7.
We're going through every single free agent,
all 100, including defense, starting now. Be sure to, before we jump into that, we're going to go through a quick question. But before we do that, check out our website at thefantasychampions.com. Follow us on Twitter at TheFFChamps, on Instagram at TheFantasyChampions. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TheFantasyChampions. Subscribe wherever you listen, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and click the bell on YouTube for notifications. Be sure to leave a review and share this podcast with your, friendonies.
Oh, no, you're not going to make that a thing, are you?
I might. So let's start off with a quick question and only spend 5 minutes. So let's put 5 minutes on the clock. There's no clock. Well, actually, I'm looking at one right now.
Okay.
But anyway.
What's the question?
What free agent do you like in 2020, regardless of the team they sign with?
This is the hardest question I think you've ever given me for an icebreaker. I'm going to go out on a limb. Say Hunter Henry. I know that's a weird one, but I'll tell you why. Because I think he's either staying with the Chargers or he's going to like the Patriots. Like, I think Chargers, Patriots, or mystery team. Like, I don't think there's a lot of options for Hunter Henry. And I think wherever he goes, they are going to use, like, Chargers, obviously, he'll be fine. It's the Chargers, it's the team that he's been doing good with. Patriots, they would use him big time. They love using tight ends. And then if he does go to a different team,
right,
I think they would only bring him in if they need to use a tight end. I mean, you can make the same argument with Austin Hooper as well.
There it is.
The reason why I didn't say quarterback or running back or receiver is because I feel like any situation they go in, like if they go to like if Melvin Gordon goes to the Dolphins, for example, are you comfortable with that?
No.
If Amari Cooper goes to the Redskins with Dwayne Haskins, are you comfortable with that?
No.
If Dak Prescott, which I know this wouldn't happen, but let's say he signed with like the Dolphins again, would you be comfortable with that?
Yeah.
You would be. Okay, so is that your answer then?
Yeah, I was going to say Dak attack. Dak goes anywhere. I love you. I follow you wherever you go, Dak. Cowboy for life.
So I think he's going to stay with the Cowboys. But I see if he went to the Dolphins, I would not like Dak at all.
So you like Hunter Henry?
Yeah, so
Hunter Henry, Dak Prescott. Let me just tell you why.
Sure.
Because Dak is a good quarterback.
Yep.
I don't think it's system for him. I think it's just he's talented.
Obviously,
every single player we talk about is going to be a guy that, like, no matter what guy you're talking about in free agency, I think location is a huge indicator as to what their success is going to be. Which is why this
is a hard question. Right. It's kind of impossible.
So for me, it was kind of not a toss up, but it was kind of close between Melvin Gordon and Dak Prescott. And here's why I say Melvin Gordon. And the reason why I said Dak is because you have to take all variables off the table. But for Melvin Gordon, I looked at it and I said, no team that isn't going to invest, like if you're investing money into getting Melvin Gordon,
you're
going to use him. Right?
Sure.
So he's not going to a team that they're going to pay $15, $17 million for a running back and then stick him in an RBBC.
I think you can make that argument for most bigger names.
Right.
Bigger name free agents.
Whereas like wide receivers like Amari Cooper and even like for your conversation, Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, their locations are going to be very reliant on the quarterback position and how they perform. So for me personally, I like Dak Prescott because regardless of situation, he can probably still be a decent fantasy asset.
Right.
I'm not a huge fan of him for 2020, which completely goes against my question. But
So my problem with Dak, really quick,
okay, all right.
is because with the Cowboys, I do think he's a good
I'm like
quarterback,
contradicting my own question.
but he has
like,
Zeke
yeah,
and he has Amari Cooper.
Right.
Let's say he goes to the Dolphins and he has Devontae Parker and no running back. I don't know. It's I think he'd be okay, but not good enough fantasy wise where I'd be like,
Yeah.
I need Dak.
fine. I'll just pick Melvin Gordon.
I was just trying to play devil's advocate.
Let's do So you're saying you agree with me? You're just playing devil's advocate.
No.
Okay. Let's do some free agency stuff. Some previewing free agency because in like 3 days everyone's gonna sign and we're all just gonna be sitting here going, okay,
It's gonna hit us like a
that was
brick.
that. Yeah. It's funny because like MLB playoffs. I mean,
free agency.
MLB free agency is like
yeah.
all off season. Like,
Yep.
you get through halfway through training camp.
I
and
think
somebody else
most.
is
Well,
there.
no, the NBA is not like that. The NBA is like a week
Yeah,
where
usually.
everything happens.
Yeah.
The NHL is like usually happens in one day, and then there'll be one or two guys that stays in the market for a while.
NFL is like 5 minutes.
Yeah, the NFL is just, everybody's gone.
I think it's because there's an excessive amount of tampering that happens before the tampering
Oh, yeah.
period.
I bet
Like Brady's
most of the
gonna
guys already
decide
know where they're going.
tomorrow if he's going back to New England
Yeah.
or whenever. But so let's move into our free agency preview. We're gonna go position by position and start off with the quarterback position. We were just talking about Dak, so let's just transition it.
Yep.
I'm assuming we won't spend a long time on Dak because I'm assuming that Dak
He's gonna get franchised.
is going to get franchised.
I think we both agree with that one.
Now, so let's get our prediction out of the way. Where does
Sure.
he go?
Dallas.
Dallas. So if he was a free agent,
Yep.
where do you think would be a good fit for him?
Tampa
if
Bay.
he wasn't franchise tagged. Tampa?
Yes.
I actually wouldn't disagree with that.
New England Patriots.
I get so sweaty.
It's not a good fit though, system wise.
Sign and trade Brady
Actually, it
for
could be a
Dak.
good fit.
He's 27 years old, actually. He's kind of old.
Oh, I know.
Getting up
Wait,
there.
Dak?
Yeah.
That's not that bad though.
It's not bad, but he's
That's like Jimmy's age. I
he's
think
starting to
Jimmy
climb.
Garoppolo's 28.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
Makes me feel like an old man. I watch this. Yeah. Anyway. I spent my whole life like wondering what it was like to be the same age as players in
And
like,
now you are.
major sports.
Yeah.
And now I'm like older than like 90% of the kids in the draft. no, probably.
Oh, everybody in the draft. Are you
100%
kidding
of the
me?
kids
Yeah.
in the draft, I'm older than. Anyway. Yeah, Dak, I think obviously going back to Dallas.
Yep.
I think he fits relatively well in the Mike McCarthy system, and I think he's probably going to be a good fantasy option next year. Not a great one, a good one. A good streaming
Careful with
option.
your words.
Yeah. So I think Dak is a relatively easy one. Let's talk a little bit about Tommy B, and I don't.
Do you want to spend a lot of time on this? Because probably
We could.
By the time
This is like
podcast
the
gets
talking
released-
point.
I know in every show,
Yeah.
as it
And,
should be.
Well, I'm not sure about that. He's a 43-year-old quarterback who barely did well last year.
But it's like
Yeah, I know.
it's Tom Brady.
I
It's
love
like-
you, Tom.
it's like
All right,
LeBron
so
James.
let's just do a little preview. So Tom
Sure.
Brady has a lot of teams interested in him. I've heard reports of up to 10 teams
of course
are
I think
interested
so.
in Tom Brady. I don't want to sit here and list them, but the major ones are Los Angeles, Las Vegas.
Yep.
I've heard Miami. I've heard Tennessee.
Tennessee's in the
Obviously, New England.
Yep. I think those are the biggest ones right
And
there.
then Tampa has kind of, I think Tampa's ruled them
Tampa's-
out, but Tampa has been in the mix.
Tampa
too.
has been in the mix. I've heard the Colts.
Okay.
And then
What is
there's somebody,
Everyone.
the 49ers. And
yes,
then
the 49ers.
a
are
mystery
yep.
team that somebody was saying was the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
If they,
Why though?
If they don't
Franchise
franchise
tag
Dak, yeah.
Yeah. Brady goes to them and says, I'll play quarterback for your team, but you got to franchise Amari Cooper.
I think that's how it would go.
Yeah, honestly, that's how it would go. The
Imagine,
franchise.
Imagine Brady with the Cowboys.
The weird part about this whole thing too is the NFL extended the franchise tag deadline to March 16th. So tampering period is going to start before the trade deadline. No, I said trade deadline, didn't I? the franchise tag deadline occurs, which is weird because it usually ends like the day before tampering starts.
Mm-hmm.
So now players are going to be franchise tagged while tampering. It's I don't know. So yeah, I think for Brady, I guess a couple of good fits for him would probably be. I think fantasy wise, I think he's just dead. I think he's not.
Yeah, I don't think anywhere he goes fantasy wise, you're gonna.
A good fit for him would probably. I would say the Chargers is probably the best fit.
Okay.
For him, just because the
Chargers isn't bad.
Chargers have a good offense, good offensive pieces, I should say, and a decent defense. Obviously, if you're considering the 49ers an option, which I do not, I think that was just fodder from New England Patriots
agree with that.
reporters.
I don't think that's realistic.
So I take them completely off the list. But I think that's the best situation for Tom because the Chargers are close. They're not like far away from winning a title. I think that the Vegas Raiders need like one more year of growth before they actually become a team that can compete. And so for Brady, I think him going to the Chargers would make more sense. I don't think it would help anybody on the Chargers fantasy wise. And I don't think that, considering that they're going to have nobody at quarterback, I think it would definitely affect the players on their team.
I think Austin Eckler though, because he would just be James White, but if they also ran the ball with him like 15 times.
Yeah, no,
he's gonna be like Christian McCaffrey.
But I don't. No matter where he goes, no matter what the situation is, even if it's Tampa, I just don't think that Tom Brady is going to be a good fantasy option next year.
And I agree.
Now here,
you want predictions?
Yeah, let's just do the predictions so we don't spend 20
hours.
Well,
I think if you put a gun to my head, I'm thinking he's coming back to the Patriots.
Yeah, I would agree.
Now,
with that.
do we want to say predictions if he doesn't?
If he does not
choose a team,
yeah. So we both think he's coming back.
Correct.
Not because we're Patriots fans, but because
I just think. I really don't know, to be honest with you. But if you had to put like a gun in my head and say answer, I would say Patriots.
The one thing I'll say before we're going to do a prediction on where he's in case you're not getting it. We're going to do a prediction on where he might end up.
Yeah.
If he doesn't go back to New England. So hopefully we disagree on that because so far we've agreed on everyone. And then we'll quickly move through the last three of these quarterbacks. But I wanted to note, if you see any reports about Tom Brady by anyone, including Schefter, and Schefter, OG, I love you. But man, no one knows what's going on. And Tom Brady said, I believe he said in an interview with somebody, he said, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I haven't told anybody what I'm doing. So if I know what I'm doing, then I will tell no one what I'm like. You know what I mean? Like he didn't say like that. But he's not telling anybody what he's doing, even if he knows what he's doing.
Right.
And so everyone that's like, oh, I have a source close to the Patriots. I have a source close to the,
it's probably coming from someone else.
It could come from Giselle herself. And until it comes out of the words of Tom Brady's mouth, I will not believe it.
Well, if it's Giselle, I kind of.
He's like, I don't believe it. No, but I just don't think anybody knows.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think he hasn't told anyone football related. It's probably just his wife that he's told. You know what I mean? That's about it. That's all I'd tell. I'd be like, frick you guys. But Tom Brady, I'll say this, he's thoroughly enjoying this. Every second of it. I wouldn't be surprised if he's sending his minions out to leak certain things.
Probably.
And say not where he's going or not what he's going to do, but just set this out and see what happens. Or go into that game. Julian Edelman said, he's coming back. He's coming back. The thought, you could look at it and watch that video and see it sink into his mind. It was long enough for him to think, ooh, I wonder what would happen if I reacted in a certain way, and then just kind of make a face, shake his head, and then say something that and it all blows up. I don't know, man. I think Tom Brady's been waiting for this for years, and he finally has it. And he's like, I've never seen him as one to suck up the attention, but he loves it.
Yeah,
freaking loves it. Anyway, I wanted to say that about Tom Brady. Prediction.
Anyway,
sounds like I'm Tom Brady obsessed.
You are. You're also from New England, so you have an excuse. For me, if he's not coming back to the Patriots, I would love to say the Cowboys. I think the two best would be
the Cowboys?
Cowboys or 49ers. I don't think either one of those are realistic.
No, definitely.
So I my prediction.
It would be stupid
Because you said your favorite your scenario was the Chargers. Mine would have been Cowboys. Mine's Cowboys or 49ers, but I don't think either's realistic. So I'm gonna say the Raiders. I think it's close though. Like I could easily see him with the Titans, the Chargers, as you said.
Yeah.
But I think if he does leave the Patriots, I think it's gonna be with the Raiders. It's new city, new stadium. Typically, when teams move to new cities or new stadiums, they want to make a bang and they'll do anything to do that. So he's going to get probably the most money if he goes to the Raiders. And the situation's not awful. He has a good relationship with John Gruden. He would look great, by the way, in those jerseys. They have a good running game.
He's Googling himself right now in different jerseys.
The only problem with the Raiders is
that's what matters.
Yeah, I know. They would need, like, it'd be the same problem with New England, where their defense is not bad and it's young, it's improving, it's good. So it's not as good as New England, obviously, but the defense is not the problem. The coaching staff is pretty good.
Right.
Their running game is pretty good. The problem is the weapons, which is, does Tom Brady want to go to Vegas?
See, that's what I was kind of hesitant.
So if he were to go to the Raiders, they would need to like
re-sign Amari Cooper.
Yeah, they would need to add receiving help as well.
See, I explained earlier, Tom Brady is only going to go to a situation where he can win a chip now. This isn't about money for him. This is, if he leaves New England, this is about him winning a championship without Bill Belichick and solidifying.
Which is why I said Cowboys
solidifying himself as like the argument between who's better, Bill, Brady, who's the reason why the Patriots won. He wins a Super Bowl by himself. Bill has the same drive. I win a Super Bowl by myself. I'm the guy. Like that's
Do you think though, if Brady signs with the Raiders, you think Antonio Brown could come back
and go to the Raiders?
Yeah,
they wouldn't sign him.
No.
So if I'm Brady, I'm looking at winning. That's the only metric that I'm looking at. The only thing that matters to me. And if that's the case, if you're not going back to New England, which I think is probably the best case scenario for him if he wants to win a title.
Yep. Is it the team I think you're gonna say?
It's the Chargers.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say the Titans.
No. Ooh, I forgot about that.
Because if you're just going by winning, I think the Titans would.
You know what? I'll say that. Yeah, Tennessee Titans. I'm sorry. I'll go back on that. I forgot about the Titans, if they were even interested. My goodness. So many teams.
The whole Mike Vrabel FaceTime.
You know the other one too? Indianapolis would be perfect.
Yeah, I think that would be good, but I don't think Brady wants to play for the Colts.
Anyway, we got to move on. Tom Brady, we love you, regardless of whatever you do. I'll root for you on whatever team you go to, unless it's... I don't know that there's a team I wouldn't root for. So I put Ryan Tannehill, Phillip Rivers, and Jameis Winston. Winston's an interesting guy because he's a young quarterback. He had one of the only quarterbacks in history to throw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in a season. I think that he has some raw potential and talent to be able to move forward. I think he's just going to end up with the back of the Bucs at this point. Quarterbacks don't move that often, so I think he'll just end up back with Tampa. They'll go crawling back to Winston. Well, you know what? They might. I don't think Winston's coming back. Where do you think Winston's going? Let's just do that.
So this is. I haven't really thought about where he's going.
Winston's going to get a starting job. It just depends. I
think Philip. Well, not to jump the gun, so I'll save it for later. But
we'll just talk about him together. You think Phillip Rivers is going?
So I think Phillip Rivers. He moved to Florida. He's not going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't think he's going to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty much a sure thing. And when Bruce Arians has talked about players, I think I've told you this before.
He's going to be like 3 seconds into March 13th at 4 p.m. or whenever the free agency
I think
starts,
he's the first name off the board.
First name off the board.
I told you this on the show. Bruce Arians was talking about the quarterback situation. He made it sound all complicated. And he was bringing up Tom Brady and Drew Brees and Philip Rivers and all this stuff. So the reporter was like, so what you're saying is you want to bring back Winston unless you can find an upgrade at the position. And he's like, yeah.
Is Philip Rivers an upgrade?
But when he was bringing up, I don't know if he is, but Bruce Arians thinks so because he talked about him like in the same conversation as Brady and Brees.
Gross.
Saying we're always looking to upgrade the position.
Yeah.
So I think it's a sure thing that Philip Rivers is to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Which means Jameis Winston is gone. I don't know where he's going to go.
Yeah.
I would like to see him with like, I don't know, maybe the Bears. I don't think the Bears would do it. Yeah. Gosh, I really don't know. I haven't put enough thought into Winston. Where do you think he's going to go?
No idea.
You said Tampa though, right?
I think he'll go back to Tampa.
So it'd be interesting, a swap. So when Rivers goes to
'Cause the
Tampa
Chargers
and
need a
then
quarterback,
Winston
too.
goes to the Chargers,
Yeah.
yeah.
That could happen. I don't know. What would be a good fit for
I
Winston?
don't think that's a good fit though. The Chargers to me. Actually, it could be. He needs to go to a team that has a legitimate running game where he doesn't have to throw the ball 60 times.
Do you think Indianapolis is...
So
option?
that could be a good option. I think the Colts would be a good option for him. Are we sure the Colts want to move on from Brissett?
Yeah.
So
Pretty much sounds like
if you believe that, then I think Winston, then that would be the team, the Colts.
Tannehill goes back to Tennessee.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think they move on. I think they're going to damage relationship with him with this Tom Brady crap.
Yeah.
You should have just re-signed him instead of sitting here twiddling your thumbs waiting for Tom Brady to come there. Like, why would you have your future?
I know, but it's Ryan Tannehill.
I know. But anyway, so you see Phillip Rivers going to Tampa.
Yes.
Winston, we don't know.
I think
And,
Colts. I think that was a good one. The Colts. Yeah.
Tannehill goes to
Stays with the Titans.
Titans. Okay. Winston to the Colts actually isn't bad. We're GMing it over here.
I know.
You're probably right on Phillip Rivers to Tampa. And then Tannehill obviously going back to Tennessee. So those are the quarterbacks, I guess. Let's move on to running back.
All right.
Worthless. They should be fast. 2 big guys, 1 little guy. We'll start with Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake, you're thinking like, oh my God, there's way bigger free agents. I'm starting with Kenyon Drake because he's going to be franchise tagged.
Yeah.
Most likely by the Cardinals. I think it's a perfect fit in Arizona. So there's not much else you want to say on Kenyon Drake.
No, I think he's staying with Arizona.
Okay. Let's talk about Derrick Henry as the number 1 running back here. Huge postseason. He's such a beast at times.
You think he's a little overrated?
I think he's overrated. I think he's going to get a massive contract
Absolutely.
from some stupid team.
I think it's going to be the Titans. I do.
Their team revolves around Derrick.
The reason, that and the way Mike Vrabel has talked about incoming free agents, which Ryan Tannehill, it was like, oh, yeah. But with Henry, he's like, he was the focal point of our offense. He was a beast. Like he treated him like he was like the head coach and he was
He'll
the player.
probably resign, but I think the other thing with Mike Vrabel is that he's cut from, I hate to say this, but the Bill Belichick cloth.
Yeah.
And does he want to fork as much money as Derrick Henry wants over? Does he really think that Henry is that much of the offense? Especially when
the way he talked about him,
yeah. But there's other guys on the market that you could sign at lower costs and not, or even this draft is like stacked with running backs. Like you don't need Derrick Henry to succeed.
They think they do.
I think if Derrick Henry doesn't go, we're probably with Melvin Gordon, the other guy on the free agent market, we'll probably have the same conversation with several of these running backs. The only 2 guys we're going to talk about left are Henry and Gordon, but those 2 guys have several options for teams that they may go to. So for me with Henry, he could go to Miami.
Which I think Miami's going to get it. Yeah.
Miami's probably the team that will go with the draft, but you have Miami, you have Houston, you have Tampa, and then you have teams that I think there's a possibility of a running back moving on from their team.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs could go out and get Henry. I don't think he fits.
No,
their
Henry
system at
doesn't
all.
fit. And I think the Chiefs are a team that would draft. They don't really have the
A
money
running back,
to
right.
go out and throw it.
Or they go out and sign it, especially with Tyreek Hill, or they go out and convince Melvin Gordon to take a cheap contract. But anyway, so I think to me the options are Houston, Tampa, and Miami.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to Miami, so it's Houston and Tampa. So I don't know. I think the prediction is he goes back to Tennessee.
I think Henry goes back to Tennessee.
Where do you think where would he fit if he left of those 2 teams?
I think he could fit in Denver. Actually.
Denver? Oh, I forgot about Denver.
If Denver wanted to get, we don't know if they want to move on from Lindsey or Freeman. But if they were to get a new running back,
great with Matt Rule's system.
I think he would fit good. Yeah.
in Carolina if they didn't have McCaffrey.
Right. Yeah.
No,
Dolphins would be good, but it's the Dolphins, so it's like I don't really want him there. But he
I
would
honestly
fit the
think
system.
anywhere he goes, fantasy wise, he's gonna blow chunks. He's gonna be terrible
Unless it's Tennessee.
unless it's Tennessee. Yeah,
Yeah. Or Denver. I think if he went to Denver, it's not a bad spot for him.
he's a very specific type of running back.
Yeah.
And it took the Tennessee Titans forever
To
to
ground
figure
and
out how to
pound.
use it.
Like there's not many teams that do that.
So
Patriots. That would be a good
excuse
fit.
me.
He'd be good with the
That
Patriots.
that actually wouldn't be a terrible fit. Melvin Gordon is the next guy on our list, and similar conversation. Where do you think he goes? Because this is a guy that Henry's going back to
he's not-
Tennessee.
he's not-
Kenny Drake's going back to Arizona. Where does Melvin Gordon go?
I think, sadly, I think it's the Dolphins. I know it's gross. I think.
Oh, he's gonna go to the team that gives him the most cheddar.
Yes, exactly. There's
He's
a
gonna go
reason,
to the team that
there's a
gives him the
reason
most
he
monies.
he held out, so he's gonna want the biggest contract.
I don't think the Dolphins are gonna give him money though.
What
Brian
team-
Flores.
What team will? You think Tampa's gonna throw? a
No,
lot of
I
money
think
at him?
Melvin Gordon's not going to get the money that he thinks he's going to get, and he's going to go. Not he can't go crawling back to Los Angeles. They already gave him. They already didn't give him money, so but they gave it to Austin.
I really
Eckler.
think it's gonna be the Dolphins.
I think it's going to be Houston.
See, I would love it if it's Houston, but I don't think it like.
No, see, I think Bill O'Brien is and the. I think the GM is dumb enough. I don't
I would
even
love
remember
it.
who it is.
It's
but,
Bill O'Brien.
Oh, is he the GM too?
I think so, yeah.
He's stupid enough to go into this and say, you know what? Our running game sucked last year. Lamar Miller gets hurt every 5.5 minutes. I'm going on and getting Melvin Gordon.
I would love that.
Oh, that is like the fantasy dream. Melvin Gordon would be like number 4 on my draft board if he went to freaking Houston.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. Yeah,
Even if he went to Tampa,
that would be good too.
that's a good landing spot
Yeah.
as well. Now you mentioned who's the other team you mentioned that could possibly go after Derrick Henry? I forgot already.
Denver.
No, it wasn't Denver or oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, it was Denver. Forgive me. That is a perfect
good spot,
landing
too.
spot for him
Yeah.
too. We talked about on our last show
I think
that
most.
we were going to talk about that. I think Melvin Gordon to Denver would be perfect in the new system.
I mean, any situation you put him in,
Pat
I think
Shurmur.
other than Miami, will be good for Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
Like the Chiefs, I don't think it would happen because money, but the Chiefs, the Broncos,
Anyone.
yeah, any of these teams. That we
I think
talked
the
about,
only team that I would be concerned about and
Dolphins.
hate is the Dolphins. Yeah.
which I think is the most likely because of money.
Yeah. Let's talk about the wide receiver position. We got some little lesser names, but we're going to talk about Amari Cooper first.
The big one.
Amari Cooper has said he wants to go back to Dallas. Dallas is not. They can only franchise tag one guy. Okay.
And I don't think it's going to be
And
Cooper.
I don't think it's going to be Cooper. So Amari Cooper is going to be a free agent. Teams like New England need wide receivers desperately.
Put one in the jar. Las Vegas.
Yeah. The Las Vegas Raiders need wide receivers. I actually would go out on a limb and say if Los Angeles is trying, wherever Brady has an opportunity to go, if they don't have receivers, they're going to go after Amari Cooper. I think Cooper is like at the top of Brady's list. Get this guy and I come there.
Ooh, that could be good. Imagine the Raiders.
I know.
Ooh.
So I don't think Cooper is going to go back to. I don't think Cooper is going to go back to Dallas. I think he wants to, but I don't think they're going to give him the money.
No, I mean, I think there's a chance, but it would be tough. It would be tough for Dallas to do that.
Now, where's some good fantasy landing spots for Amari Cooper?
I think the Raiders would be decent.
Yeah.
Patriots could be decent, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a meh. Cowboys,
I think
are
Dallas is probably the best.
Cowboys
spot.
is probably
Yeah.
the best. Yeah. Trying to think of teams that could use wide receiver help. You think the Jets?
Yeah.
I don't know if that'd be as good. That's not going to be as good as Dallas.
If you put him in with Josh Allen or Sam Darnold, I'd start getting a little bit sweaty.
Yeah. Oh no, I would love him there, but I don't know fantasy wise.
He'll just screw everyone over and sign with the freaking Cleveland Browns.
Okay. Gosh.
Oh, you know what? Arizona too. They have a lot of wide receivers. They said we're going to draft more wide receivers. Okay, buddy. Okay, Cliff.
I know.
But he would actually be a decent fit there, taking over for Fitzgerald in 2021. Where do you think he goes?
I'm gonna say it's the Cowboys. I think they'll find a way. It's gonna be hard, but I think that's where he wants to play.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say New England.
Oh, I would
I'm
love
going to
it.
say the Patriots are going to bow to the whims of Tom Brady to get him to come back. And they're going to get Amari Cooper.
I don't think Brady comes back unless they do something.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
And
Amari
Cooper's
Cooper
like the guy.
or if it's like Austin Hooper.
Like if they say another guy that we're going to talk about next, Robbie Anderson, if Bill says, we'll get you Robbie Anderson, Brady's going to be like, frick you. Robbie Anderson, free agent, all the same kind of situations. It sounds like he might want to re-sign with the Jets.
Yeah, which I think would be important for the Jets because they have no wide
receivers
other than Crowder.
I think he'll probably go back to the Jets. I hate that. Like, this seems like an extremely boring free agency.
I know.
But fantasy wise, do you think there's a landing spot out there for him that would make him relevant?
Not really.
Yeah, I would agree.
Maybe
with that.
the
I think the
Raiders.
Raiders probably would be the best landing spot for him.
I think it's the Jets, and then if he's gonna leave the Jets, it would be the Raiders.
But I don't even think the Raiders would be a good spot for him either. Like, I think it would be a good spot for him in real life, but in fantasy, I don't think he's going to be that good.
But I don't think even if he stays with the Jets, I don't think he's gonna be that great.
Right.
He'll be okay.
So I think for me, I think the Jets. Him going back to the Jets is our prediction. Yep. Let's talk about Emmanuel Sanders. I think this is another guy that could be falling under the New England Patriots tree. Belichick has
Patriots have been trying to get
Sanders since he was with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, years.
And so he's an old man coming off an Achilles injury. Not a lot left in the tank, but I think he's a guy that could come in and complement on the flip side with Julian Edelman pretty well.
Yeah.
He could be the Danny Amendola that the Patriots had in the past.
They just can't bring him in expecting him to be
right. He can't be the guy that convinces Tom Brady to come back.
Yeah.
Like, he can be a guy.
I think the Patriots would be a good fit. And again, the Raiders, the Jets. Right. What if they got Anderson and Sanders? Like, that could be decent. I'm just trying to, like, the Redskins could use another receiver. I know it's not
the receiver market's gross.
No,
I was looking
good
at
spots.
Robbie Anderson and Emmanuel Sanders are second and third. Do you see either one of those guys having fantasy relevance next year?
I think Anderson could be a bench player and Sanders could be a bench player, but I don't think that either one of them is going to be like in your starting lineup week to week.
Right.
Cooper will definitely be.
All right. So for Emmanuel Sanders, make a quick prediction.
I'm gonna say the Patriots.
Yeah, I'll say the Patriots too, because they've been sweating.
You think they're getting Cooper and Sanders? Oh boy.
Yeah, but Sanders is like a veteran minimum guy, so
yeah, that's true.
I don't want to keep making Patriots predictions, but we're moving into tight ends and they revolve. I might have to change my Cooper prediction to Dallas Cowboys.
Agreeing with me.
Yeah. Let's talk about the first tight end. We'll talk about Hunter Henry first because Henry's a free agent. He would be perfect for New England because they're
absolutely.
I think both of these tight ends are either good with their team that they're currently on or with the Patriots. Yep. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Pats fan and we need help. I'm saying this specifically because the Patriots run their system through the tight end. So fantasy-wise, these two guys would be perfect for the New England Patriots. Hunter Henry is about to be franchise tagged by the Los Angeles Chargers, regardless of whether Tom Brady goes back there or not.
Henry's, I think, going to stay with the Chargers.
Yeah, Henry will stay with the Chargers. So that's our prediction on Hunter Henry. Let's finish the show on Austin Hoop. There it is. Outside of New England, give me some landing spots.
It's gross, but again, the Redskins, they could use help. I think
they just got rid of Jordan Reed.
Again, gross. I think the Panthers, because they traded Greg Olsen.
Yeah, but that's Matt Rule. He doesn't throw to the tight ends.
I
don't care.
I know. Honestly, like, how many teams really need a tight end?
I think Austin Hooper's probably going to go back to
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think both these tight ends are going to stay. If Hooper leaves, I think the only realistic spot is the Patriots.
Is New England. Yeah. Best fantasy option, too.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think the Patriots aren't going to go out and sign Amari Cooper and Austin Hooper and Emmanuel Sanders.
Do you think the Bengals could be in on one of these tight ends?
They could be. That system doesn't really lend to the tight end position all too well.
Yeah.
Eifert's also a free agent. He's been linked to the Pats as well, but
which is why I brought him.
Yeah, so Eifert's not going back to Cincinnati, so he's on the market as well. But I don't think they're in the market to get a tight end, the Bengals.
Probably not. Just thinking they might want to stack what they have with Joe Burrow.
I think a team that you could actually see going after a tight end is probably Houston.
I was just gonna say Houston maybe.
Yeah, because I would think that Houston's trying
If
to
they get in your world, if they get
Bolster.
Melvin Gordon, though, they're not gonna.
say it again.
In your world, if they get Melvin Gordon and spend all the money on him, I don't see them doing. too
Oh
much else.
yeah. They won't do anything else. I honestly think both of these guys will go back, but Patriots are the best option. Sounds like such a boring free agency. We're gonna have so much more to talk about next week when we review this whole freaking disaster that is free agency.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah. So that'll do it for our 2020 free agency previews. Be sure to check out our website at thefantasychampions.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram and enjoy your fun, happy, healthy weekend seeing who lands where in free agency.
Yes. Peace out.